Friday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Take. Carrie champion Skip Bayless in studio. Stephen A. Smith, he's in Tejas. Austin, how are you?
What's going on, y'all? How you doing?
You're in Austin?
Well, the radio honchos for ESPN have some technology convention called South by Southwest. They're participating in it, and they have requested my presence to be a panelist and a guest speaker.
So
it's official.
If you're in Austin, it's a short drive from there to San Antonio. So why didn't you drive to San Antonio last night and shoot free throws for my Spurs down the stretch? Because they took another year off my life. We'll talk about that later.
Number one, because my flight got here by halftime, and number two, and more importantly, you don't go from Austin to San Antonio. If you know anything about a social life, you go from San Antonio. You go from San Antonio to Austin.
Although I love my Riverwalk.
I do. I enjoy the Riverwalk, but he's right. Austin's a wonderful town to hang out.
But when you're the mayor of San Antonio, you stay.
You do, since you are unofficially. All right. Well, Stephen A., we're glad that you made it in last night. Glad to have you here this morning. Let's talk about what's coming up on the show today. Cavs at Spurs. You took a year off your life, you said?
Maybe four.
Kyrie Irving, 57 points in an overtime win over San Antonio. Was that a preview of the NBA Finals? That discussion is ahead. Plus, the Jets have made some big moves, while the Patriots, not so much. What's next for the AFC East rivals? We will talk about that ahead. But first, the deal is done. DeMarco Murray headed to the Eagles. The all-pro running back has agreed to a 5-year package with the Eagles worth $42 million, with 21 of that guaranteed. He turned down a 4-year, $24 million contract that included $12 million guaranteed from the Cowboys. DeMarco on the move.
It was late last night when, I decided to, kind of take a trip here, and I felt that this was the best opportunity for myself and my family to come here and be a part of a great organization. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for the Jones, for the players there, and Coach Garrett. He's an unbelievable guy. I wish that team all the best of luck, and it's definitely going to be exciting to play them, and I'm excited to just get here and be an Eagle.
Well, that move comes 2 days after McCoy was officially traded by the Eagles to the Bills, and about 24 hours after Philadelphia worked out a deal with free agent rushing back Ryan Matthews. So here's the question. Stephen A., we knew that DeMarco went for a visit. There was word that he would possibly sign with the Eagles. We didn't know what the Cowboys were doing. Are you surprised that he is now officially a Philadelphia Eagle?
I'm very surprised, and me personally, I don't think it was something that was in the cards for Chip Kelly and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this came about because Chip Kelly, my personal opinion, is that I think Chip Kelly was feeling some of the pressure because of some of the moves, the inexplicable moves that he had made over recent days, and as a result, Philadelphia fans went in an uproar and they wanted to see some kind of results. I don't believe this is an upgrade from LaShawn McCoy, who got 5 years, $40 million himself, but 26.5 in guaranteed dollars from the Buffalo Bills, as opposed to the 21 in guaranteed dollars for DeMarco Murray. But I'm of the mindset that if you're Chip Kelly and the Philadelphia Eagles, you knew you needed to do something, because if you're going to lose a LaShawn McCoy, certainly Ryan Matthews doesn't qualify as the most viable replacement in the world. That's not to knock Ryan Matthews. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards in 2 of his 5 seasons in San Diego. We know that he can play, but he's been relatively injury prone, and there's some questions about him. So that wasn't going to suffice as a viable replacement to LaShawn McCoy. DeMarco Murray, in the minds of some, definitely does, because the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, although it had trouble at the beginning of last season, they got their act together pretty much the second half of the season. So their offensive line, while not as formidable as the Dallas Cowboys, is certainly reputable enough where they could create some holes and they could do some special things for DeMarco Murray, similar to what the Dallas Cowboys offensive line did, at least to some degree. But in the end, if you're Chip Kelly, this doesn't make up for losing LaShawn McCoy completely, but it is a significant step in the right direction. DeMarco Murray was the leading rusher in the NFL last year. He rushed for over 1,800 yards, but he did have 392 carries, 449 touches. There are some questions, about how worn out he may be or whatever. We'll find out whether or not that's the case. Again, I don't think, Skip, this is the ideal. I mean, this is not like the Philadelphia Eagles just acquired Adrian Peterson. DeMarco Murray is a stud. I like him a lot. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if this completely makes up for losing LaShawn McCoy. But I am surprised that he is in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. I'm shocked that it happened, and more importantly, I'm shocked that the Dallas Cowboys allowed it to happen.
I'm impressed. That was a very fair and I thought accurate portrayal of what just happened. But I'm here to say I believe the Philadelphia Eagles just dramatically overpaid for one DeMarco Murray. And if we're back to Kerry's question, I'll do it on a shock scale of 1 to 10. My immediate shock was at a 10 when the news broke yesterday afternoon. But then as I slept on it, woke up this morning, my shock fell to about a 4 because, Stephen A., to sort of piggyback your point, this was Revis revisited to me. DeMarco fell into a Revis-like situation because all of a sudden the arch rival was completely willing to overpay to steal you away from their rival just because they needed to make a huge PR splash. And I think that almost overnight in Philadelphia, you're almost a native of Philadelphia. I mean, you live nearby. To help me out here, but didn't Chip Kelly just go from buffoon to hero overnight just because they gave $21 million guaranteed to DeMarco Murray?
No, I wouldn't go that far. He certainly is no hero. There's still a lot of question marks about Chip Kelly and what exactly is it that he's doing, running football operations essentially for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. But this was a step in the right direction. The vitriol that was being aimed in his direction with folks walking around the streets of Philadelphia scratching their heads, looking like they got a bunch of dandruff going on and what have you, that's no longer the case. They're looking at him now and it's like, okay, all right, this is a way to redeem yourself to some degree. We'll see what's up. It doesn't completely make amends for what they believe have transpired. He's no hero or anything like that. But he's not a buffoon. I can tell you that.
Okay.
They're not looking at him like that.
Okay. So what happened was, a la Revis, obviously the Jets needed to make a PR splash and steal him away from the Patriots, and Chip Kelly needed to make some kind of PR splash and steal him away from the reigning division champ Dallas Cowboys. Touche, mission accomplished. At what price? $21 million guaranteed dollars. I like DeMarco. We've had him on the show a couple of times. You don't love what he doesn't say because he doesn't say very much.
Right.
But I think he's a good guy, and I congratulate you, DeMarco, on getting $21 million guaranteed dollars as a running back at age 27. God bless. But I'm going to remind you, DeMarco, money can't always buy happiness. I believe DeMarco will miss that offensive line, those road graders in Dallas. I believe he'll miss playing with and sort of behind Tony Romo at quarterback. Should have been the regular season MVP. I believe DeMarco will miss having a game-changing, difference-making receiver in Des Bryant, who can obviously take a little pressure off the running back and help create lanes and keep people out of the box. I believe DeMarco will miss being a Cowboy in Dallas, Texas, and I believe he will miss the Texas state income tax because there is none. So that's a big deal in Dallas, Texas.
I have a question for you. So the $12 million guaranteed is what the Cowboys was offering him. In your opinion, what was he worth?
Okay, they were at 12, is that right?
Yeah, $12 million guaranteed.
Okay.
What was he worth in your opinion, if not 21?
$12 million guaranteed. I think Jerry toed that bottom line. I'm proud of you, Jerry. You refused to overreact and overpay for a DeMarco Murray. And I'm going to bring this up again, Stephen A. We're going to have Coach Herm on in a little bit. But Coach Herm has many times on the show made the point he had Larry Johnson in that big year that Larry Johnson had in 2006. The most carries in the history of the National Football League. The next year, Larry Johnson was pretty beaten up and a little broken down. And he managed to go only 8 games the next year and had only 158 carries after 416 the year before. Larry Johnson was never the same after that. Curtis Martin had big carries, 371 for Coach Herm in 04 with the Jets. And again, Curtis was more at the end of the line, but he was never quite the same after that. I don't know what DeMarco has left. History would scream to you right now that next year DeMarco will be a little more injury prone. And I remind you, he did play at the end of the year with a broken hand. Again, God bless. I hope the injury gods are good to him and the Eagles. I'm not wishing injury upon him, but the stats would tell you, the statistical charts would tell you He's going to be a little beat up next year. He won't quite be DeMarco next year. Is he going to be worth $21 million guaranteed? We'll get to what the Cowboys can do, plan B, C, and D in a minute. But
15?
What?
On guaranteed dollars.
No, I like 12. I think they stuck right where they should have stuck. And I think DeMarco will occasionally look back and regret, man, that offensive line. I love Dallas. I love being a Cowboy in Dallas.
Yeah.
No state tax. Maybe. And again, am I going to knock him for taking $21 million guaranteed? No. But good luck to both you and the Eagles, DeMarco.
You know what? Can we move on to the Dallas Cowboys? Because I got so much stuff that I want to say, Skip, especially to that little soliloquy you just went on, which absolutely nauseates me to no end. I just don't want to jump to the next subject.
All right, well then let's do it. No, let's go to
the next subject because you make me right now, Skip Bayless. I say this affectionately. You make me sick right now. Sick right now. And I can't wait to get to this.
Jerry Jones has said that he was grateful to DeMarco for his contribution.